Hey guys, welcome back. I've got a really fun video for you today. We're gonna turn our sketch into this finished piece of vector artwork. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, so I've got my sketch here, and if you didn't catch my previous video, I actually sketched this out in my other video, which I'll link below, so you can check that out and see how I've come up with creative concepts to come up with this idea of pizza feelings. So in this case, I wanted to turn the sketch into an actual sticker, and I'll walk you through where I actually got this made and turned into a sticker. So what I did was I placed my original sketch into here. It's a JPEG file, and what I actually did was I went to File, Place, and then you could just locate your image wherever you stored it in your computer. And then once you place it, so the first thing that I actually do is I open up my properties palette over here. What I'll do is I'll embed it. And then once you see that X guideline gone, that means this image is embedded. So now what it does is it actually saves this actual JPEG file into your Illustrator document. So if you actually don't embed it, the next time that you move this file or move this actual image, you won't have it linked in this doc. So I recommend embedding the image into the Illustrator document so that you have it on hand. And then you can go ahead and save this. All right, so once you've saved this, we can go back to our layers palette, and let's just get rid of the properties palette. And what we'll do is we'll create a new layer on top of this, and we'll lock the bottom layer so that our image actually doesn't move when we try to trace on top of it. So we'll take the pen tool, and you can go there by going up here to the toolbar or by pressing P on your keyboard. And then let's just make sure that there's no fill. So we'll go to no fill right here, and then we'll press X, and then we'll actually fill this in with black. So what we can do before we start, we can go to opacity, and you can get there by this palette right here. And what we'll do is we'll bump down the opacity to maybe 50%. And then so that we can see what we're drawing on top of it. So let's go ahead and lock that. Go to the top layer, press P on our keyboard for the pen tool. We can really start anywhere, but I recommend starting out with the bigger shapes first and then working our way in. So let's go ahead and actually let's start with a basic shape, and we'll do the ellipse tool. We'll hold down Shift just so that we can get a perfect circle. And then we can drag this out. If you hold down Shift, it'll make a perfect circle for you. So let's go ahead and choose a stroke for that. We can do black. The next thing that we want to do is we want to build the actual shapes behind and then work our way to the top. For example, let's do her hair and close out the shape up here, and then from there we'll do the head, and then we'll do her face or her head, and then we'll do her body, and then we'll also do the pizza and her arms, and then we'll do the face. So that's kind of like the order that I typically like to create this, because what happens is if you start with the back pieces first, so Illustrator will actually arrange the elements behind. So then the most recent shapes will be arranged at the top, but you can also create new layers as you go, and we can do that so that you can edit this drawing later on if you need to. Let's just start and just go for it. And if you are new to the pen tool, I recommend watching my other video where I go in depth about how to start drawing with the pen tool. But basically I'm just dragging these handles and I'm letting go when I like the shape. You can go back and change the shape later on, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to go a little fast. And then you see this anchor point, you can go ahead and click on it to get rid of this top handle. And then we could just keep clicking and drag as you make curves on this drawing. So here we go. So again, you can add more points along this path, and you can see this plus button. So if I wanted to add another one here, just click. And then if you want to pick it up at the very end, let's go ahead and keep going. All right, so now you're starting to see the shape kind of come alive, and then we'll go right to the center and trace the circle as we go. And again, we can arrange the shapes later on as we see fit. And you see this point, it's actually outside of the circle. So what you can do to toggle between the pen tool and the move tool is to press Command on your keyboard. And you can actually click on this point and you can move it. You can also fix the handle if you'd like to. And then as soon as you let go of the Command button or Control button, it will actually go back to the pen tool. So this one, we need to add another point right here, and then we'll press Command for the pointer tool. Here we go, and then we can fix the handles here as well as this side. Not bad. So here we go. And again, we can add more points if we feel like this is not looking so great or it's not as perfect. You'll have the opportunity to go back and edit some of these lines. So that looks great. So I'm going to leave that and I'll press V on my keyboard. So this is going to be the hair, and we can go ahead and label this as the hair, and then we'll make a new layer on top of this. And this will just kind of help us stay organized. Again, you don't have to put each shape in a separate layer. This is just for organization's sake, or if you're a lot like me and you're trying to just do things quickly, you're more than welcome to just put all of your shapes in one layer. So now my next strategy is to build the face here. So what we can actually do with this, and I know we need this line for the hair, what I'll actually do is, okay, so this is going to be tricky, but let's go ahead and build this shape right here. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of change it a little bit. For this one, this is actually going to be covered by the pizza. So I'm just going to eyeball it and create this shape. All right, guys, so if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. What we want to do is we want to fix the stroke, the outline. This is where we can stylize all of the different lines so that it doesn't look so boring with these thin lines. There's a couple ways you can do this, but first I did want to show you, because we have so many overlapping lines here, the way that we can actually fix this is to take our shape builder tool. So the way that the shape builder works, we want to cut out some of these overlapping shapes. We'll start with the hand with the pizza, and then you could just click on shift and then add these lines together so that we can actually add them and get rid of some of the overlapping lines. We'll go ahead and click on the shape builder tool. We'll add these together. And then we're going to type on a path tool. We'll just copy this. And then we'll go to type on a path. We'll click here and we'll do paste. And then we can increase the size to however big we want. And then we can choose a different font. Alright guys, so I did have to do a little bit of cleanup. What I advise is doing the line widths at the very end after you know that you want to commit to all of the lines in here. And then this would be the very last thing that you do. This is my final design, so I'm going to save this as a couple of different files, and the way we can do that is export for screens. We'll do one PNG. We'll also do an SVG, and we'll go ahead and save it. Choose the folder where you want to save this as. And so now we have two different file formats, both transparent, and let's go ahead and export it. And so now we have two different file formats, one in PNG and one in SVG. All right, guys, so I just uploaded my SVG file onto a website called stickerapp.com. I'm in no way endorsing them. Found them on Instagram and thought, hey, what a cool idea. So I thought I'd try doing a sticker with just the black outlines, and you can see how the holographic effect is looking so awesome. I will actually have these stickers available in my shop sometime soon. You can also start following me on Instagram, where I will post them once I get them in the mail. Hopefully you try out this simple technique and let me know how your stickers turn out. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.